Thank you very much. We had seen last time that after the second round of gambling, they were asked to go on to the forest to live like hermits. And while they were moving, as they started off, Kunti called back, and who was staying behind on the advice of Vidur, to tell Draupadi that you take special care of the youngest of the lot, the five brothers, and because he is still very young. So after that, they all went to the forest where, because so many people were accompanying them, Yudhishthir prayed to Lord Surya, who granted him a Akshay Patra. And with that, the condition was that as long as they could have one meal a day, which is what the hermits were allowed, and as soon as the Draupadi, who took the meal last, when she had had her meal, that Akshay Patra would become empty and would fill up next day. That Akshay Patra is nothing but all the spiritual practices that you carry out every day. Now, spiritual practices need not be carried out throughout the day. Once in a while, you'll have to do other tasks also. So whenever there are other tasks are required to be done, the spiritual practices can be once a day you have to carry out your spiritual practices, and once this is over, then you can carry out your other tasks also. Anyway, few other incidents happened meanwhile. Since forest was not a place where you can live alone, or rather take care, be unarmed, or you have to be prepared for all kinds of threats from there. So Arjun was asked to go to the Devas, to the gods, and get some special weapons because they were all alone, and this was the first time they were coming to the forest to live for such a long time. So Arjun set off, and he said his first stop was to Mount Kailash, where he wanted to get some special missiles, etc., or weapons from Lord Shiva. When he reached there, Lord Shiva was not there, so he had to wait. Now, waiting is a spiritual exercise, actually. It's considered very highly, and it's part of our spiritual endeavor. Now, waiting in modern terms is considered very, because in modern time, when you're waiting for someone or something to happen, or for some job to be done, etc. So in case you have to wait for such reasons, then you get irritated, bored. Why is it not come on time, etc., etc.? Why is it being delayed? You're always in an anxiety and a hurry. When you're honest, and then of course, at other times, waiting may not necessarily be like this. When you're waiting for a loved one, for example, when a mother waits for a child to come back from school, it's all in anticipation. Okay, when the child will come, it will be so good. Or the farmer keeps on waiting for the crops, waiting when the crop will ripen, when it will grow up and ripen. Those kind of waiting is different. There's a third kind of waiting when you wait for the Lord. Like when we used to go to Puttaparthi, we used to be waiting there, not in anything to do or anything. We are not expecting anything, but we are just waiting for the Lord to come out. That kind of waiting is absolutely a different kind of waiting. And in that waiting, uh, there's no expectation. You don't expect anything to happen. You're just waiting. That waiting is out of love. You're not sleepy. You're alert to whatever is there, and you're all quiet. You're just waiting. In that waiting, that is meditation really, in which you are just receiving. You're receiving all the energies, all the vibes from the Lord, and that's what waiting is all about. And the quintessence of this, if you recall, in every Shiv temple, you've got a Nandi in front of the temple. And he's always facing the Lord, his Lord. That's Lord Shiva. He's just waiting. He's not waiting for the Lord to come and tell him, speak to him, or to pat him or tell him or something, or give him instruction. He's just waiting, not sleepy, but he's quite alert. And he's not waiting for anything. He's just in absolute bliss. That is the essence of waiting. Now, after waiting, while he had to wait there, Arjun decided that it would be better he start meditating. So he sat down to meditate. Meditation is another spiritual exercise wherein you still your mind. Your mind, has got lots and lots and lots of thoughts coming one after the other. What is the mind? Before we come to stilling your mind, what is the mind? Mind is nothing but a stream of thoughts that keep on coming one after the other. Just like that in a crowd. There's nothing like a crowd. Crowd is simply a collection of people. One person close together, they all one close to the other. And when there's large number of them, then we call it a crowd. Now, and just as the crowd disappears, when the people disappear, so also when the thought disappears, the mind disappears. So mind is nothing but a collection of thoughts. And in this collection of thoughts, what how to get rid of this thoughts is the thing that every spiritual aspirant has to strive for. If you try and sit trying to meditate, trying to close your eyes or something, you'll find thoughts keep on coming one after the other, one after the other. Even if you try, okay, let me not think, some other thought will come in. The only way to get over this thing or to still your mind is to not get involved with the thought, but just keep on watching the thought. If you sit there like a witness and keep on examining, okay, which thought is coming, which thought is going, then immediately you'll come to know that, okay, then gradually you see that the thoughts, they're all inside the mind. Some thoughts may be coming from outside also, like waves. They may be coming and they get into it, and like our antenna or like the radio antenna which captures, or the TV antenna which captures the thought, or the music or whatever. Our mind also is kind of an antenna, and it captures all the thoughts that keep on floating around. But if we don't get involved in thought, we let it come and let it go as gently as it dare come, then we'll find that gradually thoughts keeps on reducing. If you keep on watching the thoughts, be a witness rather than a participant in those thoughts, then you'll see that that thought will quickly disappear. Another thought will come in. Just keep watching the thought. If you keep on watching the thought, then the time between two thoughts will keep on increasing and increasing. Then after some time, you'll find that all the thoughts have stopped coming in, but your body is still, the senses are not yet silent, and the sensor will still keep on registering, and you will. So if you keep on mm, continuing watching your thoughts, then gradually your mind will become still. When your mind becomes still, it will become so still it will not even register your anything that your sensor will also become still. They will not register anything that they are would be stimulated by. For example, if you hear a sound, your senses will not, although the senses will react to it or absorb it, but it will not register in the mind. That is the state when you are in a complete meditation. At meditation, you don't have to do anything. It is not about doing, it's about being. Meditation is all about being in a particular state. In that particular state, you're not doing anything, you're just being what you are. And in that state, you are receiving from the Lord. At other states or in other conditions, you are actually doing something and you're giving. But in this case, you're receiving, you're listening, or you're waiting for the Lord, or receiving from the Lord. That is yoga, and that is what a spiritual exercise is. Now, after that, uh, yeah, from there, Arjun decided to go to Lord Indra, and acquire some fresh weapons from him. So he went to Indra, and there, uh, Lord Indra was, of course, very happy to have Arjun. Arjun was his son. He said, "Yes, you've come here. I'm glad you've come. I'll certainly give you all the weapons that you want. But I'll also, enjoin upon you to learn dancing from Chitrasen, the master dancer who's there. And he's the one who has trained all the apsaras, etc." So Arjun went and paid his respects to Chitrasen, who was the Gandharva, and told him that he has come here as per the direction of Lord Indra, and he has to learn dancing. So Chitrasen uh, introduced him to Uroshi, who was in her own right a very great danseuse, and said she'll be the one who's going to teach you. So over a long period, if you recall, Arjun had gone there for almost a year, and he had to spend a long time with there learning dancing, and he was a very devoted student, very grass, and whatever she kept on teaching him, he readily grasped it and acquired it. Now, while this was happening, they were in close contact with each other, and Urushi fell in love with Arjun, and she proposed to him. But Arjun said that Arjun, however, did not consider her from that angle. He only considered her a teacher, his teacher. So he said this kind of relationship is not on between a teacher and a student. So they politely wanted to decline her, but she may have taken a sense. So he said that, look, I understand that you are one of the consorts of my ancestors. As such, I'm sorry, I can't accept your proposal. To this, Uroshi replied that, you see, Apsaras don't get attached to anybody. As such, he should have no qualms in having relationship with her. But Arjun declined. So Uroshi got very angry with her and said, turned you into a eunuch. That means you lose your sex. Then she relented and said, okay, only for a year of your choosing. This is a little bit of a metaphor. It means that you will become a god, because gods are asexual, they don't have any sex, etc. And so her curse was really a boon that for 1 year, that 1 year also means one whole lifetime, this lifetime. So she said, because you have been able to control your heart and you have spurned all my advances or my proposal, it means that you have complete control over your senses and your heart. And a person who has got complete control over his senses and heart is spiritually on par with the God. So she gave it was a boon really, and said that you can become you will become a god for 1 year in this lifetime. Whenever you in this lifetime itself, you don't have to wait for the next lifetime. So this was the boon she had granted him, although it was mentioned as a curse that you turn into a eunuch for 1 year. But the metaphor means that you will become a god from now itself, in this lifetime itself. You don't have to wait for the next lifetime. Anyway, and this boon would come in very handily when he goes to Virat Nagara, much a little later on, as we shall see. After going there, then after coming back from after acquiring the missiles and learning dancing, etc. Yeah, incidentally, uh, when he was with Lord Shiva, when he got up from his meditation, then Lord Shiva was standing there. And although Lord Shiva was very happy with Arjun, he decided he should test him. So they had a little bit of a duel. Shiva, with his power, he created a boar, which of course Arjun didn't know about it. And as the boar ran, Arjun shot an arrow. So also Lord Shiva, he shot an arrow. They both shot an arrow and it struck that boar at the same time. Arjun went to claim that the dead boar was there. But simultaneously, this Lord Shiva, who disguised himself as a hunter, he also went there. Then both of them, Arjun said it was my this thing. Lord Shiva said, no, I shot him also. As you can see, my arrow struck him first. They had a little bit of argument, then they started fighting. And eventually, Arjun realized that that he was no match for the other tribal hunter. Then he realized it was somebody else. So he said, let me know, please reveal yourself, because you can't be an ordinary hunter. Then Lord Shiva said that, okay, I'm Lord Shiva, and I'm very happy with you. Ask me for a boon. He said, I've come seeking for some special uh, weapon. So he said, okay, I give you my Pashupati missile. Pashu stands for animal, and Path means path, the path that leads to the animal. He said, and this is a missile that will decide your path to missile, and path to the animal behavior. And with that missile, so that means he will always remain human being. And as we shall see, Urushi gives him a boon through that he'll become a god. So with this too, when he has got all these weapons, he comes back and he has got some other weapons from uh, Indra, as I already mentioned. With that, he comes back to Earth and starts sharing his dwelling with his other brother. While they were in that condition, while they were in that position, one sage came to them, and a hairy sage, Lomeshwar, who said that instead of wasting your time, whiling your time away in the forest, better go to for satsang with the sages there. Find their ashram, go and have satsang with them. That way you'll earn merit. So they said, yes, that's a very good idea. And he said, go to the forest of Namasmaran. Now, all these are metaphors, they were, till now, they were in the forest of Kamayak and Dwaita forest. These two forests, they were moving from one to the other. Now it said you go to a third forest. The third one was Namasmaran, forest of Namasmaran. Nama means name and Smaran means remembering the name of the Lord. So he said, when you go there, you go to that forest. There you meet a lot of sages there. And from there you can earn merit, you can get in touch with them, have some satsang and sankirtan with them. Now what is satsang? Satsang means being in the company of people who are in search of God or who are themselves God realized. In both the cases, they are called satsang. And the idea is that the human mind is very a social mind, and all of us we keep on absorbing a lot of things from the our surrounding. When we and those things remain imprinted on our mind. If our company is such that we pick up only the thoughts about God, then our mind will be absorbing those thoughts about God only. And that was the idea of that going to forest of Namsmaran, remaining in the company of the sages. Namsmaran, like I mentioned, it is remembering your God, remembering the Lord. This is the easiest way in this age how to connect yourself to the Lord. What is Namsmaran? Namsmaran means all the gods, Vishnu or whoever, Shiva or whatever. They've got 1,008 names. And they've also been, out of those 1,008 names, they've been shortened into another list of 108 names. So you can either think of 108 names, or you can, if you want to choose, you can also think of 1,008 names. Now, Smaran is really when you take one name, you don't, there's another thing called Jap. In Jap, you keep on reciting uh, a particular name of the Lord, your deity, whatever. For example, I would say Sairam, 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 like that. It is done generally for a particular number of time, and after that you stop. But Nam Smaran, there may be 1,008 names which you want to recall. You'll recall one name, you'll picturize the Lord in that as per that name or in that form. Then savor the pleasure and the bliss, and after that go to the second one. So this way, it will take a lot of time. So it does not matter. You take sever as many names as you can, and then move out, and then next day you start to, from there onward. Till after a period of time, you would have completed the entire 108 or 1,008 names, and then you start afresh. That is Namsmaran. In the forest Namsmaran, he says you will go to meet the sages. Similarly, Sankirtan. Sankirtan does not mean singing in company of everybody. It does mean that, of course, also. But it also means that singing with such fervor, with such devotion, that the Lord is forced to accompany you. He is so forced to, he is called upon, he is forced to come to you and sit beside you. So when you're singing with the Lord beside you, that is the real Sankirtan. Of course, this when you are with the other people, and that also is that can be a Sankirtan. But the real Sankirtan is when you have the Lord beside you and in his company you're singing. Anyway, when they went to that forest of Namasmaran, there Draupadi got a very exceedingly pleasant smell. She didn't know what it was. Then the sages there told her that this is from the golden thousand petal flower which grows in these parts, and and this smell is from that flower. Now Draupadi liked the smell very much, and she wanted one of those flowers herself very quickly. So she looked around and spotted Bhim and told Bhim, "Can you get this flower? I believe it grows here somewhere around here in the forest." So Bhim, ever ready to oblige, uh, Draupadi immediately set out. And there, when he was moving, when he was going towards the forest, he came across a monkey lying on the uh, path. Now, as per our tradition, we don't cross over. You don't jump over somebody else. That's considered bad manner. You'll always go around that. If there's somebody lying there with his legs outstretched or whatever, we don't step over his leg. We'll go around that leg. Now, this fellow, Bhim, when he saw that monkey lying there, he said, "Hey, monkey, get off the path." So that monkey looked at him and said, I've become very old and you are a great strong warrior. Can you not lift me and lift me up and place me aside? So he said, sure. Now, what he wanted was to take this monkey, hold him by his tail, and hurl him away as far as possible. But when he started to lift his tail, he found he could not the tail would not budge even an inch or even a millimeter, much less his whole body. So he kept on struggling and struggling, and then he realized that no, this is not an ordinary monkey because Bhim himself was very powerful. And if you recall, during the Swamvar, when the kings had Draupadi's Swamvar, when the kings had all revolted, he and Arjun, between them, they had managed to quell the uprising. At that time, what Bhim had done was he went and pulled out a whole tree, and with that tree, he was bashing up everybody who came in front of him. So there he was able to pull out a whole tree, and here he was not able to lift up the monkey's tail. So he realized this is some special monkey, then very respectfully he bowed before that monkey, and he said, uh, "Please forgive me for the insolence which I have shown, but you are certainly somebody very great. You are not what you look. Please reveal yourself to me." That monkey was none other than Lord Hanuman. He said, "Look, I'm Hanuman, your brother, and I've come to tell you that, or rather teach you humility. You're very haughty. With this kind of ego and haughtiness is bad for you. And if you want to succeed in life, you have to get over your, arrogance." So he said, "Okay, yes, I take that as a good lesson." He said, "Now, with this, I bless you. Whatever whatever mission you have set out for today in just now, you'll also be successful for that." Now, of course, and thereafter, uh, we continued his search further. Okay, as far as the story is concerned, as it's 8 o'clock now, I'll stop here. But then very quickly, uh, the other thing which I wanted to share with you, primarily what transmigrates from one body to another body, discussed last time, what is karma? Karma now, when you talk about karma, immediately our mind goes up that if our karmas are not good enough, we'll have to take a rebirth. That's primarily how it is linked to, which is very true. But karma means different things in different philosophies. Nyaya mein karma is altogether different. In Nyaya mein, karma is not linked to a particular individual. As long as in his body, person is there, he keeps on committing uh, various acts which are recorded there and which form his karma. In the Nyaya philosophy, karma is really only an act, a recorded act, that's all. And why it is so? Because in the Nyaya philosophy, there is no soul as such. There is an Atma, but that Atma is not conscious. Atma becomes conscious when it comes in contact with the mind. So when the Ishwar, he keeps on creating a human being, And then when he's created the human being, he provides the mind and he provides an Atma. When they both come together, that time that Atma becomes conscious. And from that conscious mind, and after that, that man, when he does any act, that is treated uh, as his karma. Now that karma is also recorded there, but punishment also is given uh, to that Atma. But this Atma is not permanent. It has got two components. One is the mind, and the other uh, is the Atma itself. And both these are not eternal. So after some time, they'll disintegrate. Before that, of course, the Ishwar who's there, the Lord, he will punish the wrongdoer and reward the one who has been committing good deeds. So they are sent to either heaven or hell to finish out that period of atonement if he has done a wrong act, or if he has done some good act, then he enjoys the fruits of his good acts in heaven. Anyway, after the term in heaven or hell respectively are over, that time the Atma disintegrates and into its two constituents, which is the mind and the Atma itself. And then the Atma becomes inert, and the mind also remains inert, just a building block, nothing more. In such a case, there's no, the, there's no rebirth. Somebody will be born again, and all the karmas which is done by the various numerous individuals who will eventually reach heaven or hell, before they are punished or before all the karma is done, this karma is added to the complete kitty, what they call, for the entire universe or the entire world. Whatever action has been done, uh, they're recorded there. And on the basis of this karma, the total karma, the new earth or the new world will be fashioned. So like that, it keeps on going on. So, and individuals also will be fashioned based upon the karma that has been committed or by the past uh, men who are there on the earth. But there's no one-to-one linkage. There's no one-to-one mapping or one-to-one linkage between the karma committed here and the next person who's going to be born. Because the next person who is born afresh again at the same time. In this case, there's no transmigration at all. A new person is created. It's not the same soul or same thing, the same Atma keeps on transmigrating. In Sankhya, there's no transmigration that way. A new person is born there or created there again on the basis of the karma. But that karma is from the collective karma which is there. From that collective karma, a part of the karma is taken and a man is created there. And all other jeeves, all other Atmas which are there, they are created also on the basis of the part of the uh, from part of the collective karma which has been enacted or created till then. Then we have got this Jain philosophy. In Jain philosophy is the simplest and the most direct. In this case, karma is there. There are jeeves which are eternal, and there's the universe or the world which is also eternal. And in this eternal world, all the jeeves, they keep on doing good deeds and bad deeds. And if you do bad deeds, you're bound to go little lower in the next life. If you do good deeds, you're going to rise up a little higher spiritually. And if your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds, then not only will you enjoy life in the for a short while in the next world in the heaven, but not heaven really. You will come back again on the earth as a in the upper this in a better situation. If you have been doing uh, deeds which are not classified as good, then you will come back again to the earth. You will be reborn in a slightly inferior situation. So in case of Jain philosophy, it is very clear that you are born based upon your karma, which is either good or bad. So because and they are the opposite. Good karma will take you to heaven, or rather give you a higher level, or a higher level or a higher plane of existence. And a bad action will take you or keep you in a lower plane or lower level. So if you want to erase, now suppose in this last previous life, you have done some lots of bad deeds, and you want the effects not to come out to you, and you want to get over it. So you can keep on doing good karma. If you keep on doing good karma, then those past bad karmas are chopped off, destroyed. That's a very simple kind of thing, because there are only two kinds of karma: good karma and bad karma. When it comes to the Sankhya, the Hindu Sankhya philosophy, usme you've got a Purush, you've got a Prakriti, you've got ego, and all the karma which is carried out can be either good or bad. But both, whether it's good karma or bad karma, in both cases you have to take rebirth. Because the only thing is that if you do good karma, you'll be born in benign situations, uh, among benign people. And if it's a bad karma, then you're reborn among people who are in situations which are not very, uh, conducive to spiritual growth. So then how do you get on? Suppose you have done bad karma. Is there any chance of your destroying the past bad karma? Yes, there is scope and there is chance, and that is by doing what they call a karma. A karma is really uh, anti-karma. It will it will destroy both your good karma and bad karma. It is first because both of them are responsible for your birth. It is not that only bad karma is responsible for rebirth, as in the Jain philosophy. In Jain philosophy, only the bad karma is responsible, for rebirth, and and the good karma will also, of course, it will keep on lifting you higher and higher till you come to the 10th plane, or seventh plane, I think. Seventh or 10th level, I am not very sure. I think it's seventh level. When you come to the seventh level, thereafter you live forever as a perfect being. So all that you are required in Jain philosophy is to keep on doing good karma. But in case of the Sankhya philosophy, since good karma also results in rebirth, bad karma also results in rebirth. So your objective is to cut out both of them, and that you can do by akarma. Akarma really is anti-karma, and it comprises, as we had seen earlier, that of course the action which you do should conform to one, that there should be no doership. You should not take ownership of that act. Number two, there should be no selfish motive. That means there's no desired result motive. There's no, you're not expecting a particular kind of result. Then the third one is that you're being, it's for general good, it's for good of mankind. There's no selfish motive at all, not even an iota of selfish motive. And the fourth is you're putting your very best, you're putting your 100% effect. If you do this kind of action, then that action is powerful enough to not only cut off the karma which is not yet fructified, that it can chop that off and remove it and from your to be born karma. And like Uroshi said, given that post there, Sanchit karma they call it. From out of your Sanchit karma, which is not yet fructified, you can keep on reducing it, both the good and the bad, because both of them are responsible for your rebirth. Now, after that, you've got the Vedantic philosophy and the Buddhist philosophy. In Buddhist philosophy, you don't have soul, you don't have this thing. So karma jo hai, what is the, and but in Buddhist philosophy, whether it is good karma or bad karma, both karmas you keep on doing, and both are responsible for, as in the Sankhya philosophy, for your rebirth. If you keep on doing good karma, also, then also you will be reborn. If you keep on doing bad karma, then also you will be reborn. So how to get out this cycle? So in the same way, like it is done in Sankhya philosophy, you have to keep on doing such karma that is non-selfish, that is not for you at all. that is primarily for the mystic law, because उसमें कोई दूसरा नहीं है इसमें. So you do this for the mystic law, and that when you, it is selfless, when you are not doing for any selfish motive, then that such an action goes to destroy all your past karma. So it is almost similar to the Sankhya philosophy. When it comes to Vedanta philosophy, in Vedanta, there is no, everything is supposed to be a dream. So just as you would in a dream, keep on, you keep on acting, keep in a dream action, the dream action will create a dream karma. But when you wake up, you have neither the dream there, neither dream is there, the dream, all the characters are there are destroyed. So dream action jo hai, and the dream karma is there, that also disappears. So if it's all that you require is to wake up when from the scientific, from the Vedanta point of view, all that is required of you is to wake up to realize that you are living in a world of illusion. In this world of illusion, of course, you keep on doing all kinds of action and all kind of, you know, all kind of retribution is there in this world. But if you wake up, then all your karmas have disappeared. So this is how karma is explained there. Now the question comes in, nevertheless, at least in some cases, rebirth is taking place. Where the rebirth takes place in Sankhya, rebirth takes place in Jain philosophy, rebirth takes place in Buddhist philosophy, and even in the Vedanta philosophy, rebirth takes place. So what is it that is transmigrating? Okay, in case of Jain philosophy, it is very simple. It is the Jiva itself migrates. He has left one body and is taken another body. But what about the other cases? In the Sankhya philosophy, the Purush is there everywhere. It's not that he is some small portion is occupying some part of the sky and sitting there, and the Atma is in a world somewhere about so many light years away. It's not like that. Purush is there, is omnipresent. So if he is omnipresent, you can't go anywhere from him. And Atma as part of that Purush is also omnipresent. So how does it, what happens in such cases? Because there's no, you cannot go move from here to there. So what happens there? This has been explained by saying that it is not that it migrates only the Atma, the soul or the Atma does not migrate. What does migrate is our tendencies and our gunas, our वासना, हमारे जो वासना है and हमारे जो गुण हैं, these are what they form an astral body. An astral body, that is what transmigrates. Not the Atma per se does not migrate. The same thing is there in case of Buddhist philosophy. In Buddhist philosophy also, it is not that the Atma migrates, because there is nothing like Atma in the Buddhist philosophy. But there is a transmigration of soul, rebirth hai in the Buddhist philosophy. So there it is explained, as in the case of Sankhya, that it is a astral body which moves, which transmigrates. What is this astral body? Is the same concept as in the Sankhya philosophy, that all your vasana, impression, and guna, with the tendencies, these are the ones in the form of uh, in the form of what they call, in the form of an astral body, they migrate. Just excuse me. In Vedanta also, sorry, in Vedanta also, uh, transmigration takes place as per that philosophy, because the unless you reach the stage of realization, then the transmigration will not take place. But till you reach the stage of realization, you will be moving from one birth to another birth. And in according to Vedanta philosophy also, you've got transmigration takes place of the astral body, your tendencies, your impressions and tendencies, along with your ego, of course. So yeah, this is what transmigrates. So that little difference is there in among Jain philosophy, Nyaya philosophy, and the rest of them. In the rest of them, it is not, in the Jain philosophy, the soul migrates. In this Nyaya philosophy, nothing migrates. And the other Sankhya and the Buddhist and the Vedanta philosophy, it is the astral body which migrates. I thought I'll share this with you. Then yes, what is death? We talk about that it migrates at the time of death, but what is death? Death generally has is is defined as that when your body becomes, you see, you have to carry out a lot of when you're living there, you have a lot of desires. I want this, I want that. Some fulfilled, unfulfilled desires are there. When these desires are there, they're still there. They have not yet been completely eliminated, and your body becomes is not suitable for carrying on any further. And that is called a death. When when your desires remain, but your body is not capable of continuing to live any further. That is that is the definition of death. On the other hand, it may happen in some cases, especially those of saints, etc., that they have no desires left, but and all the desires are dead, but their body is still young enough and fit enough to continue for several years. So this is this is a death of this is a moksha actually. It's not death. It's moksha or liberation. Liberation while you're still alive. Sometimes you may have heard of terminology, or rather somebody saying living death. What is this living death? Living death is when you are able to appreciate that you have you are able to appreciate that you are not the body mind, and that you are something else. That you are an atma which is there within the body mind, and that your association with body mind is severe. It's cut off. That is called living death. Now, there are two among two masters. One was Osho, the other is Sadhguru. He's still alive. They were asked, when you had your first realization, what did it look like? Or how did you feel it? So Osho said that, look, I was sitting under a tree on a chabutra, platform, cross-legged. And when suddenly I found myself on top of the tree and one of the branches on top of the tree, and I was looking down at my own body there. And I do not know how long I was there. People would come and go. They would stop by, see me in that meditative pose, and they thought that, okay, I'm meditating. So they, without doing anything, without touching me or something, they would just walk away. I kept on, that was the first time when I had this kind of an out of body experience. In fact, this out of body experience has been held by numerous people. I like to give the example of one. Of course, if you go to YouTube, you'll get a number of them. But I like to give the example of one, Anita Murjani. She was, she's a Hong Kong, an Indian, a Sindhi lady from Hong Kong who was suffering from a lot of ailments. And one day, because of her so many ailments which were there, she died. But as per the doctors, and the doctor said, okay, now she's gone, you better call somebody, told her mother, and that you better call your brother or whoever you want, and lights, the last rites to perform. Now she says that I found myself floating on top of the of the top of the room, and watching my body lying there, and my mother and all and others, they were weeping. The doctor advising my mother, and then my mother got in touch with my brother who was in India, and she says I could see my brother moving out from there, going to the airport, boarding a plane, and getting ready to come to India. Now, in that plane, a similar experience has been given by a number of people of out of body experience. That is the time when you really are, excuse me, that out of body experience is the one which is called living death, when you are still alive, when you are not yet left the body. But of course, once. In not on all cases you can come back, but in this case, as well as so many other cases, when they have come back, they're able to describe, and this kind of a experience is very profound. It changes your life completely. It gives you a real idea of what you are, why you're having this, uh, all these ailments and pain. And like Buddha, this lady also, she immediately realized what was the cause of all the uh, physical illnesses and pain. She had what they call limbs or nodes or something all over her body, huge ones like the size of lemon. But when she came back, then the one mother or the doctor asked, "Why did you come back?" She said, "No, no, no. I had to come back because my father told me there in the other world that is not time, and if you for you to come back, you can go back there." But anyway, when she was coming back into the old world, into this present world, then she realized she had come to know what was the cause of all her ailments. And without any further treatment, within in less than 2 3 weeks, all the she became perfectly all right. There are no ailments now. And like the yogis, now she is living perfectly healthy life without any of the ailments. And that brought about a profound change in her because she had undergone what they call living death. That is what is living death. Now, the one question which last time Vishu had asked me was, uh, these various saints, they have been expressing their experiences in different forms. For example, Buddha said that there's shunya, there's nothing, it's only anatta and sunya. Anatta is your non-soul, and shunya is nothingness. Whereas, as per Shankaracharya, he says there is this Brahman, and uh, the rest is all illusion, Maya. So what is true? Similarly, there are other saints, Madhavacharya, Ramanujacharya, Kapila, Gautam, all these people are there, so many sages are there. They all are described slightly differently. So is that the truth? Truth now, as per definition, should be only one. It should be constant, it should be fixed. So what is it that these people are describing? Is it the falsehood that they are all talking? Is it something which is not truth, which is changing from person to person? Or is it that there are so many kinds of truth and every individual has his own truth? What is the reality? The truth is, the reality is that truth is always one. It is constant and it is not changeable. If it changes, then it's not truth. And if somebody views it differently, views something else, then also it's not truth. Now, in all these cases of all these saints, they have had the same experience. It's only the way of expressing it. What is that experience they have had? The experience they have had uh, of uh, of the Supreme Lord and the Brahman and the universe simultaneously. If you, I don't know how many of you have gone through the first page of the book. The first page of the with the starts with the introduction. In the introduction, in the second page, on the second para, we have written that we have described what is Mahabharata. Maha, of course, is uh, great, and Bharata, Bharat stands for Bhav, and Tal, the three attributes of dance. So Mahabharata really is the great dance and personified the great dancer himself, Lord Shiva. So Mahabharata represents Lord Shiva, and it also represents his dance, great dance. Now, this is the truth. It has to be understood there. There's no need for a. So this truth, whoever has maybe Vyas, we have to give him credit for writing this. So Vyas has described the truth as Mahabharata. Others have described it in different manner. So it is only a question of describing the truth in different ways that you find that distinction. Otherwise, like in today's post, in I don't know how many of you are following, but like Ushaji, like Vishu and others who get their day-to-day thought distinguish the truth. Our vision is not set enough to be able to see the truth. see the truth in the diversity. Otherwise, the diversity, there is no diversity. And an analogy can be taken by, when you have to when you have to get that black and white picture in the newspaper, then printing all the printing and along with the black and white newspaper, they were all made of very fine dots.
Papa
Sorry.
will stop today now.
Okay, just a minute. Just few minutes. Sorry, time हो जाता है पता नहीं लगता है. So they're all made of very fine dots. So if our vision is good, then we should be able to see that they're all really dots. They're no different. So what these saints are describing is one in many and many in one. They're the same thing. Their vision is so clear that they can see the many in one and they can see the one in many. That is what they're trying to describe in different ways. So to Vishu's ask a question which he had asked, whether their truth is different. Truth is not different. Truth is same. It appears different because they've been described differently. Okay.